This episode of Video Marketing Madness is made possible by Aweber. Aweber is the easy way to do email marketing, build your list, and of course, send out emails. If you want to start doing email marketing today, then head on over to raythevideoguy.com/Aweber, and you can get started for as little as $1 for the first month. And then, of course, you can make a ton of money and then pay for the rest of the months. So there you go. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about why you should be using different videos for your desktop and for your mobile customers.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.
It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. Got a question for Ray the Video Guy? Go to raythevideoguy.com/ask, A-S-K. Leave your question. If Ray answers it on Periscope, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff.
Oh, yes, all kinds of stuff. In fact, we are actually simulcasting live on Periscope as we speak.
Oh, good.
Just for fun.
And don't forget about our Facebook page and our Twitter page. Plenty of useful tips. Facebook is Video Marketing Madness. Twitter is at VideoMKT Madness. And
yes.
We're going to call the show Video Creative for Mobile and Desktop. This sounds pretty good, but I understand you've got some news of the week.
I do. Let's hit the news of the week here.
News of the week.
So this week, we've actually got some pretty interesting stuff that is at least somewhat video marketing related, or at least video related. For those of you that have followed it, Apple just did a big product introduction show yesterday, and they've introduced some pretty exciting little products. And I know all the Android people might disagree, but I think they're pretty exciting. They actually came out with a new version of the iPhone, a new iPad Pro, which is actually really interesting. And then they've also come out with the new Apple TV, and the new Apple TV is pretty slick. I'm a fan of the Apple TV, and this new version I'm actually a big fan of. I think this is going to be one of those products that really dominates a market and is really going to cut into some markets that people probably didn't think it would in the past. Things like the video game market, cut into some of those Sony and Microsoft sales a little bit. Obviously not on the high end, but certainly on the more casual end, it's certainly going to cut into those. So very exciting products. Did you check out any of those, Steve?
Well, Ray, I'm a Droid guy and a PC guy, so no, I didn't. But this is good to know because my wife, who is a graphic artist, is on a Mac, so I got to let her know about this. She's got an iPhone.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as a graphic designer goes, this is actually a really exciting announcement for graphic designers. The new iPad Pro, which is a 12.5-inch screen versus the 9.7-inch screen, has what they call the Apple Pencil. And it's basically a stylus that you use on the screen, which is nothing new by itself. However, it is... And I probably should say this with a caveat because I don't have any test data for this, but from what people have said and from what Apple has claimed, it is the most accurate and fast-moving stylus that has ever been used for this type of stuff before. So it's it's great for artists, and one of the things they really show with that is the artists drawing on the iPad and really doing some very cool stuff that really looked like pencil drawings and looked like ink drawings and things like that. So for graphic artists, very, very cool stuff that they've added there.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And some other great new technology on the phones. They've added a multi-touch, pressure-sensitive touch to the screens, which is a very interesting thing. So depending upon how hard you press on the screen will determine what kind of results you get. So it's kind of neat. It's
Yeah.
a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
It is different.
very fun stuff. And the new Apple TV allows you to play video games. It has voice commands and has entire system search, which is really kind of interesting because no longer do you have to go into Hulu and search for a show, then leave and go to Netflix and search for a show, then go to iTunes and search for a show. You can search for a show and it will give you the different options. So you could buy it from iTunes, you could watch it on Netflix, you can watch it on Hulu. So for those that love Apple TV, that is a big improvement that they have. And the video game department on it actually seems pretty darn slick. It's very much like the Nintendo Wii, where the controller for the TV actually is a motion controller. So it's a very fun little product. It looks like.
Yeah, that sounds like it, and I like the whole movie thing because that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh yeah.
So although I've got a Samsung TV and a Samsung Droid, so I can watch my Droid tablet, so I can watch my tablet on TV very easily, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and then that's obviously one of the big features of the Apple TV as well, is whatever you've got on your iPad or iPhone, you can project up onto the TV, which I do quite a bit because, believe it or not, if I buy my UFC events on my iPhone, it's $10 cheaper than if I buy it on the Apple TV or through the UFC directly. So
wow, no kidding.
Yeah, for whatever reason, if you buy it on the phone, it's $10 cheaper than on the iPad or on the Apple TV or direct from their site. So saves a little bit of money, which we like.
The other thing I like, again, being a PC and Droid guy, and I guess this is neither, but is Roku. I got a little Roku USB stick. Hooks it up to the Wi-Fi. Amazing the amount of free stuff you can get. It's just amazing. PBS.
Yeah, the Roku is a very slick product, and we didn't talk a lot about it on the radio show here. What's cool about the Roku is that you can build your own TV programs that anybody can get access to, similar to like having a YouTube channel, but much more TV integrated, which is very, very slick.
Yeah, which is what I've done. I've picked all my channels, and that's what I go and look at. I can just pull stuff up and watch it and pause it, and it's very cool. Tons of content on it. It's just amazing. I mean, more content than I'll ever get to. Thousands of channels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very slick stuff. I love all those things, the Rokus and the Apple TVs of the world. So very, very fun.
Anymore?
And I don't even watch a lot of TV, but hey, what are you going to do?
Well,
right?
I watch some, yeah. I mean, in the evening when I want to relax, that's kind of what I do for an hour or two, maybe. So, any other news of the week?
I think that's it. Let's get into this content because we got some good stuff to chat about here.
Yeah, video creative for mobile and desktop.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the differences between marketing with a video for mobile versus desktop. And the reason is because with some of the changes that have happened at YouTube and with some of the advertising options, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do if you target those two different audiences with two different types of videos. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is, for instance, on your desktop, you've got access to do the annotations and the clickable annotations. So you could do really cool buttons. So for instance, when I'm editing a video, if I know it's going to be viewed on a desktop, I can have a button, an animated button even, in the video itself that says click here. And then inside YouTube, we can use an annotation to go around it and make it clickable on the desktop. And believe it or not, the funny thing is it actually will be clickable on an iPad too. Just not on most other mobile devices.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So what we kind of have to do is we have to do a separate video without that animated button, so we're not confusing the people on mobile, and then use YouTube cards on the mobile versions.
Right.
Does that make sense? I think that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I do both. I do the annotations. I've gotten away from putting the graphics in my video. I just use YouTube to do the graphics because for the annotations, because then it will I found that it shows up wherever applicable. You know, if you can click on the link on a desktop or an iPad, it's going to show up. If you can't, that at least that's what I found. Then the graphics don't show up. However, the cards are slick for mobile. They're really slick, and you know, not only can you send them to a website, but there's all kinds of things you can do with it.
Absolutely. And I just dropped a ring, if you're wondering what that sound was.
It made a nice ring. The ring made a nice ring.
See, that's the problem, folks, is I can't sit still without fidgeting with something, and that happened to be the item I was fidgeting with. So apologies for the noise there. Yeah, so and I love what you say there, because that's another option, obviously, is to stop with the annotations that have the buttons in the videos. Now, for me, I love that, and I see huge increases in click-throughs when I do it. So for me, it makes a lot more sense to actually just create two versions of my video, one with the buttons in it, one without the buttons that we can use with YouTube cards. And then the interesting part about that is when you deal with advertising, because you can actually put ads out that specifically target mobile or specifically target the desktop. And by doing so, if you have two different versions, well, then you can get them to click through in two different ways and really make a big difference. And one of the things that we talked about at Vid Summit a couple weeks ago was the use of the annotations. And Tommy Powers was there, and he was talking about the annotations and how when he puts a really nice annotation in the video that really says, hey, click me, that they see huge numbers versus just using a normal annotation or even using the YouTube cards on the desktop. So that's one, you know, we don't want to lose that awesome functionality just to appease the mobile. So what we want to do now is maybe create two separate versions. And obviously it puts a little bit extra work in there, but might be well worth it, especially if you're doing advertising.
Yep. And you've seen it work for affiliate sales, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we've seen, we've done a lot of tests with the annotations and with the YouTube cards. And, right now the cards are still new. And I get some people saying that they've seen huge increases since the cards have come out. And I've seen some people say, well, nobody's finding the cards and clicking on them. So it kind of it goes back and forth depending upon who you talk to, whether or not people have really taken to the cards yet. And I actually spoke to somebody the other day that, for those of you who don't know, a couple of weeks ago, we had a pretty big breakthrough on the YouTube marketing front when it comes to YouTube cards and annotations. And that is, we finally figured out how to make it so if you've got an annotation on a video, like let's say it's a video for a dentist, and you've got an annotation, you can have it say, click here to call me now. Mm-hmm. They can click on that annotation, and if they're on their cell phone, it'll automatically call the dentist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you sold that as a $7 little training deal.
Yeah, I did just to our little group too. I didn't even sell it to the rest of the world, at least not yet. So very few people even know that you can do this yet. But one of the things that's really cool about that is you can run advertising and see these increases. And one person that I spoke to recently, and in fact at Vid Summit, he actually does pay-per-call. So literally it's like CPA, but with phone calls instead of click-throughs. Mm-hmm. And he started adding the YouTube cards with that click-to-call feature, and he immediately saw huge increases in sales and calls. So it's definitely, the cards are definitely starting to catch on. People still don't quite know what they are. I think YouTube needs to have a real awareness campaign, letting people know what they are. But they do work very well in a lot of situations. And with some of the new things you can do, it's a very, very lucrative opportunity there. But of course, the differences between mobile and desktop can cause some issues. So.
Well, and with the cards, I've been very pedestrian with it. It's just been click-throughs to the website, not click-throughs to other videos or contests or whatever. But that being said, I have seen an increase in mobile click-throughs. So that tells me two things. First of all, more people are watching it on, the videos on mobile, which I knew. But when I started adding the cards, I saw an increase in mobile click-throughs to the website.
Well, and that's a big thing because if you've been to YouTube on your mobile device, it's not very easy to find the click-throughs and the descriptions sometimes. It's a kind of an odd and confusing a platform in the way they have it set it up. So it's a little bit difficult to be able to find those click-throughs. So adding those cards seems to work really well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've seen it. Is it huge? No, but I can tell. I can see the
Sure.
difference in the numbers.
And of course, the one thing we do need to talk about with this as well is uh, one thing that confuses people is on the mobile, annotations don't work. We know that
Hmm.
on an iPad it does, on a phone it does not. Um, the YouTube cards do work, however, only inside the YouTube app. So if you've got a video and they don't have the YouTube app installed on their phone and they're watching it in the web browser,
Yeah.
the annotation, excuse me, the YouTube cards are not going to work.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I didn't realize that either until recently because I just knew, oh, hey, they work on mobile. Well, yeah, but they work on mobile if you go to the YouTube app itself and not just on the mobile browser.
Well, and the droids, I believe, come preloaded with the YouTube app, I think.
They do, yes,
Okay.
and I don't know if the iPhones do anymore. They used to. I think now you have to download it, but as soon as you go to watch a YouTube video on an iPhone, it prompts you to download it.
Oh,
So
okay.
hopefully, the majority of people will have the app.
Yeah, and I like the app. It's a lot easier to use
Oh
on a
yeah,
mobile device. So
it is as far as watching the videos. Like I
Mhm.
said, the only thing difficult about it is sometimes if you've got description links, that sometimes finding the descriptions on the mobile app is not the easiest in the world like it is on the desktop. But
yeah, oh, yeah. But but
we're
but
definitely seeing a lot more views there. So
but nothing is as easy for me on mobile as it is on desktop because I'm old.
yes, yes, you
I'm
are
old.
quite.
These darn mobiles.
These kids and their darn
These,
fangled
these
phones.
kids and their smartphones. This is a neighborhood. Okay, anyway. Slow
So
down.
Steve, speaking of mobile, now you said you've seen an increase. Now, what types of videos are you doing that you're seeing those kinds of increases?
Um, the videos for the attorneys, the traffic videos for the attorneys, um, videos for my church. You know, we take pastor's sermon and put it on YouTube, and then we have it on our website. But all of a sudden, I started noticing, and in the website, the analytics can track click-throughs from either mobile or desktop, and it tells you the OS. And
Sure.
all, I mean, as soon as I started putting the cards on, well, as soon, within a month after putting the cards on, I started seeing an increase in click-throughs to the website from mobile devices. And
Nice.
and that's the one that I monitor the most, is that one. But I do get the analytics from a few attorneys on the traffic videos, and yeah, I'm seeing that as well. And again, it's not like it went from 0 to 1,000, but it's going from a couple here and there every now and then to 20. You know,
Oh, good.
you know.
And in that niche, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in that particular niche, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, 10 or 20. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm used to dealing with some rather low numbers, maybe compared to an affiliate offer. But again, especially with PI attorneys, one case is worth $100,000. So
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, you're talking about you've got 20 people in there. I mean, we're talking, potentially $200,000 in revenue from those 20
yeah, exactly.
clicks that
And
people make.
and,
So
and sometimes maybe it's half that. I mean, I'm giving you the high end, but so let's just say it's half that. It's still worthwhile. It takes me an extra minute maybe to create that card.
sure.
I mean, the most time-consuming part of creating that card was the graphic for the image.
Beautiful. Well, there you go. That's kind of it. You know, that's what I wanted to discuss was doing these separate videos. So, in other words, a desktop video that has the animated buttons, a mobile version that doesn't have the buttons and uses YouTube cards. And one thing I didn't mention is you may want to even go as far as shooting an entirely different video.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's easy in many cases to just not put the button. However, if you want to really take things to a next level, in the desktop version, you may literally be pointing at the button and saying, just click right here. And then, of course, in the mobile one, you'll have to say, just click on the YouTube card button over here. So you may have to do things a little bit differently as far as that goes. But in many cases, it's just a matter of either having the button or not having the button. Sometimes it's in the end screen. So you might have the exact same video, but in the end, at the end of the video, the end screen might say click here, and whereas another end screen might point to the eye in the corner and say click here. And you know, either one should work pretty well for you. And it's not too difficult to make two versions of the same video. So if you can get a lot out of it, it's well worth the extra time and effort.
I go with one video because but I need to test too. But sort of my guess is it's not going to make a huge difference for me. But I would think for things that are affiliate offers or a retail type of store, it's going to make a huge difference doing two videos because what you can do is optimize the graphics.
Yep.
And that's the big deal about all that. So if you're doing an affiliate offer, that's obvious. But if you're, say it's a restaurant, click here to access our specials, click here to access coupons, click here to look at the menu, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's huge shooting two videos, I would think.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is. And we all know video is one of the easiest ways to get some of that nice juice and nice traffic. So we love doing them, and anything we can do to optimize that even better, we should be doing. So there you go.
So there again, annotations for the PC or for the desktop, and the iPad. I didn't know that showed up in the iPad since I don't have an iPad.
Yeah, and that may be the case for tablets. I just haven't used any. So.
I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it on my Droid when I watch stuff. And typically when I'm on my Droid, it's for pleasure, not business, But I'm almost positive it doesn't show up on the Droid. And then, of course, the YouTube cards for mobile. And there's so many things you can do with the YouTube cards. You don't have to drive it to a website. You can drive it to other videos. You can do contests.
Fundraisers, and believe it or not, they're going to be adding a lot more options to that in the future. So we'll have to revisit the YouTube cards as they make some of those additions and changes. So
there you go, huh?
Yes.
Ask Ray the Video Guy.
Okay, so now we're going to do a new segment that we call Ask the Video Guy, and it's based off of the Ask the Video Guy page at raythevideoguy.com/ask. And that's where people can ask me questions, and we answer them live on Periscope. But I'm going to take one a week and bring it into the radio show as well, so we can ask it here and do a more detailed, a detailed look at what they're asking about. So today's question, let's take a listen to it. Okay, so now it's playing. You can do a 3, 2, 1 again if you want.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so that is a great question. Yeah. Many of us have websites that we don't want people to be able to steal the videos. It could be some sort of membership site, a training site. And one of the biggest problems is people often use the YouTube player inside those membership sites. And the one thing we know about that is if you're using the YouTube player, you're almost always going to have that link that goes back to YouTube, which means even though it's an unlisted video, people can go back to YouTube, grab that URL, and just share it around. And you could be losing revenue because of that. So I want to talk a little bit about how you can protect your videos and make sure that people aren't able to steal them with that. So The way that you want to do that now, Steve, do you have any issues with this where people steal videos that you might not want them to get their hands on?
I'd love to have them steal them. So, because I'm doing I'm doing traffic videos for attorneys. So no, but I know that's an issue for a lot of folks, especially if you're monetizing those videos and getting a lot of
Oh,
views.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, we've seen that where people have just grabbed videos. And the bottom line is, if you've got a membership site, if you've got a training site of some sort, there's really no way to actually stop people from doing it. They could literally, put a video camera pointed at their computer screen if they really wanted to steal it. There's not much you can do about that. But what we can do is just make it a little more difficult for them to get access to those videos and share them around. And one way to do that is to stop using the YouTube player on things that are monetizable, on membership videos, on videos that are in training sites. And what you want to do instead is to just export as an MP4 and then upload to Amazon S3, or use a site like Wistia and host your videos there. And that's going to solve a lot of the issues you have. Now, when you upload it to something like S3, which is what I do, you're going to want to have a player that you can use, that you can brand, that you can add features to, because there's not really much of a built-in player if you're putting it on S3. So the one that I use, any guesses there, Steve, which one I use?
For your player?
For my player.
Oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, I know what it is. What are you using?
Simple Video Pro.
Yeah.
Simple Video Pro.
I knew
That
that.
is the one that I use for just about everything. And it's very easy to use. It's a WordPress plugin. All you do is upload your videos to S3, Amazon S3. So just go to Amazon. In fact, just search Amazon AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. You'll be able to find out about S3 on there. If you've already got an Amazon account, it's very easy to set yourself up. Then you can put your videos onto the S3. It's very inexpensive. In fact, it'll probably be free for a long time before you get enough traffic that they might start charging a little bit, but very, very inexpensive. It streams the videos very quickly, and then you can use a player like Simple Video Pro to be able to add other features like buttons and buy buttons and opt-ins and all sorts of fun stuff to your videos. So it's a very, very good way to be able to protect your videos just a little bit so that people don't steal them. Now, another option is to use a player like Simple Video Pro, grab that video that's on YouTube and put that into the player, and that'll kind of mask a little bit some of that ability to click back to YouTube. But again, you're probably better off just uploading it to S3 and really protecting it there.
Yeah.
So that's my my recommendation. I hope that helps, and should keep you from having those videos stolen nearly as much as they have been in the past.
Great advice, Ray. It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. Today's show made possible by...
Today's show is made possible by Aweber. Aweber is the easy way to do email marketing, send out newsletters, collect leads, and keep in contact with all of your tribe. If you want to start doing email marketing right away, head on over to raythevideoguy.com/Aweber. You'll even be able to start on the first month for $1. So check that out, raythevideoguy.com/Aweber.
Got a question for Ray the Video Guy? Go to raythevideoguy.com/ask, A-S-K. Leave your question. If Ray answers it, you'll win all kinds of great video marketing stuff. He'll answer it once a week here on the radio show. Are you answering them on Periscope too?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We are answering them on Periscope, usually daily, hopefully.
Okay. And once a week, it'll become a new feature of the podcast. And you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/video marketing madness, or follow us on Twitter at Video MKT Madness. Plenty of useful tips, and we announce when we have new shows and all kinds of groovy stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Well, let's wrap it up with the jingle.
All right, let's hit it.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.